rejecting again from this critical area of resistance, while this warning signal is still flashing for Bitcoin and other cryptos, while a new warning signal is flashing for Bitcoin that we need to pay attention to. So in just a moment, I'll be talking about my exact trading strategy alongside Ethereum now running into critical short-term support, while Ethereum is still rejecting against Bitcoin. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the 3-day Bitcoin chart, and over the last 1 day, not a lot has really changed on the 3-day time frame right here, because as of right now, the price of Bitcoin is technically still forming higher lows and higher highs here on the larger time frames, also known as a bullish trend or a bull market. But as I explain in every video here on the channel, because I need to explain it because some people still don't understand, there's a difference between different time frames. So even though the price can remain within a larger bullish trend on the larger time frames, if we're looking at a slightly smaller time frame, we can see short-term dumps and short-term pullbacks here and there on slightly smaller time frames in the shorter term during a larger bullish trend. And once again, I'm having to explain that basically every video here on the channel, because I still get comments from time to time saying that on one time frame I'm bullish and on another time frame I'm bearish. But once again, those two do not necessarily contradict each other, because during these larger bullish trends, during these larger bullish moves, we can see short-term dumps here and there. And so that's why I always say it is important to understand the difference between the different time frames. On the larger time frames, nothing much has really changed over the last 1 day, but obviously on small time frames, that can flip between bullish and bearish basically every single day. And if we're taking a look at this 3-day Bitcoin chart right here, obviously over the last 1 day, we have seen yet another rejection from this resistance, which was sitting close to 72,000 approximately, or if we're looking at this candle close right here, that's sitting closer towards 71.7k. And once again, as I've explained over and over again here on the channel over the last few days, in order to actually confirm that 87k price target that I talked about a few days ago, in order to confirm that, we need to first see a confirmed breakout above this neckline, above this resistance area, which as of right now has not happened. And so once again, even though I talked about a possible price target at 86 to 87,000, that is not yet confirmed, as I've also explained in recent videos here on the channel, because in order to confirm that price target and this pattern, we need to confirm a breakout above this resistance, which once again has not currently happened. And in case you're new to this channel, in order to actually confirm this pattern and that technical price target at around 86 to 87,000, we would need to see at least ideally a 3-day candle close confirm above this neckline, but ideally above around 73 to 74,000 to become much more confident that we're really breaking bullish, which once again, as of right now, has not happened. And if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin chart right now, what we are seeing in the DXY, also known as the US dollar index, is actually a spike to the upside over the last 1 day, which at least in the shorter term is a bearish signal for Bitcoin, which is perhaps one of the reasons as to why we're seeing a bit of a dump just in the imminent short term here in the price of Bitcoin. But at least as of right now, the DXY has not fully confirmed a bullish trend reversal, because at least at the time of recording this video, the DXY is still currently forming lower highs and lower lows. But if we start seeing a breakout in the DXY above these previous highs, forming a new higher high, and then especially if we form a new higher low after that, something like this in the DXY, then that would be a bearish trend reversal signal for the price of Bitcoin here on the daily time frame, if we're talking about these shorter term bullish and bearish trends here on the daily Bitcoin chart. And so once again, on the daily time frame here, we have more shorter term trends that last for a few weeks up to a few months. But when we're zooming out on a larger time frame like the 3-day chart, this is all occurring within that much larger bullish trend, also known as the bull market, that has been the case since the beginning of 2021. And so once again, we need to know the difference between the different time frames. On the 3-day chart, we've been non-stop bullish since over 1.5 years ago. On the daily time frame, this flips between bearish and bullish more often, usually every month or so, every couple of months. But obviously, if we're zooming into, say, the 1-hour chart or the 4-hour chart, that can flip between bullish and bearish almost every day. And so once again, what we are now seeing in the DXY is an early warning signal. This is an early signal pointing towards more bearish price action for Bitcoin, but at least as of right now, we have not fully confirmed a bullish trend reversal in the DXY, which means at least as of right now, we have not officially confirmed a bearish trend reversal in the price of Bitcoin. So for all we know, this could just be a short-term dump within that bullish trend. So at least for now, this is a warning signal to pay attention to, but we still need to wait for extra confirmation in order to flip much more bearish again in terms of the trends here. And if we're taking a look at this daily Bitcoin chart, over the last one day, we've seen yet another perfect rejection from this exact area of resistance that I've been warning about over and over again here on the channel. We still have a lot of resistance at around 72 to 74,000. And over the last one day, we rejected from pretty much exactly $72,000. And as I explained in my last video, this was one of the major reasons as to why I was looking to take some profits on my Bitcoin long position at around 72,000. And over the last one day, I did exactly that. Because just yesterday, this was a $200,000 Bitcoin long position, but as you can see on the left-hand side, this is now a $100,000 Bitcoin long position. And so overall, I am still actually long on the price of Bitcoin because this is more of a swing trade, but once again, I've taken a bit of profits off the table out of this long position, which I said I would yesterday before this dump even happened. But as I also explained in my last video, I'm not actually selling Bitcoin into US dollars or into stable coins. I'm simply taking profits from a leveraged long position. And because this is an inverse perpetual trade, the profits are actually paid out in Bitcoin. And so effectively what I'm doing here when I'm taking profits off the table from this long position is just deleveraging my position. I'm basically turning a leveraged Bitcoin long position into normal no leverage spot Bitcoin. And obviously I've been sharing this trading strategy step by step, basically every single day, very transparently here on the channel since I began entering into the trade below $60,000. And once again, I've been sharing where I'm looking to take profits from this trade even before the moves happen, before I actually take the profits. And of course, as I said in my last video, another reason as to why I was looking to take some profits off the table for this Bitcoin long position right here, alongside the fact that we are running into critical resistance where we've previously rejected from multiple times. On top of that, we were also seeing relatively high funding rates. Obviously, they're not super high, but they are above neutral, which means the long positions are having to pay more and more fees just to keep the long positions open if we're seeing high funding rates above neutral. And so due to those two reasons, once again, as I outlined in my last video, due to the high funding rates and the price running into major resistance, I said this is the area where I'm looking to take some profits from my Bitcoin long position. And so far from this Bitcoin long position, I've secured around $30,000 in profits. And as of right now, there's still around $14,000 in unrealized profits. And once again, I've been sharing this very transparently step by step since I began entering into the trade. And if you also want to take trades just like this for yourself, then personally, I'm taking this trade right here over on Bybit. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit down below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link down below this video to make a Bybit account and deposit on that account, then you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. And also, if you use that link, it will take you to this page right here where you can claim an exclusive 200 USDT airdrop position just by making a Bybit account using that link, making a deposit and claiming the airdrop. And so if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out. Once again, first link down below this video. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is also Bitflex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitflex. And so I'll also make sure to leave a link to Bitflex down below this video as an alternative crypto exchange. And so now that the price of Bitcoin has played out another short-term pullback, another rejection again from this same area of resistance, what can we expect moving forward from now? And well, first of all, the major area of support that I'm focusing on is this area of support right here that has held as support for a while now over the last couple of weeks, which is sitting in between around 67 to 68,000. And so that will be an important level for Bitcoin to hold above, because if Bitcoin starts breaking back below around 67,000 with daily candle closes back below 67,000, then in that case, that would be a short-term bearish signal pointing towards potentially a further move towards this area, sitting in between around 63 to 64,000. And so basically, if we start breaking below around 67,000 with confirmation, then I may look to close the rest of this long position or a lot of this long position if we start breaking below some of those important levels on the chart. But on the other hand, if we hold above this area, because obviously it's worth having multiple plans based on multiple scenarios so that we can profit no matter what happens. And so once again, if we hold above this area on the chart and we actually bounce around this area again, then personally, I may actually look to add to that Bitcoin long position. And so once again, if we start bouncing around this area on the chart, around 67 to 68,000, then personally, I would be interested in potentially adding to this long position, increasing the size of this position after taking profits closer towards 71 to 72,000. And so once again, that is simply my trading strategy that I'm using here. As always, not personal financial advice because I don't know your personal financial situation, but personally, this is the trading strategy that I will be using. Once again, if we break below these lows right here, I do have a stop loss right around here to basically close the rest of the trade if we break further to the downside below this support. But if we bounce around this area, I may look to add to this long position to accumulate essentially more Bitcoin using this long position. And so by doing that, no matter what happens, I make profits from this trade. If the price dumps and hit this stop loss, that stop loss is massively in profits, and I've already secured profits off the table for this position. So even if the price dumps in this worst case scenario, I'm still making money from this trade. But of course, if we bounce from here, and especially if we bounce around this area where I may look to add to that long position, then obviously I'd make even more profits from this trade if we see a further bounce. And even if we don't make it all the way to that area of support and we bounce basically right now and head all the way back up, even taking profits at around 71 to 72,000 was beneficial because those profits once again are paid out in Bitcoin. And of course, Bitcoin increases in value if the price of Bitcoin goes to the upside. And so essentially, I'm laying out trading strategies and plans in either scenario, no matter what happens here, to make a lot of easy money in crypto. And as you can see right here, it is working perfectly. And so this is why it is important to subscribe to this channel with notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on any of these important update videos where I'm sharing these trading strategies completely for free, by the way, on this YouTube channel. And if we're taking a look at the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, obviously over the last one day, once again, just recently, we have seen a bit of a short-term dump after that major rejection from this resistance. And so as of right now, this breakout to the upside is effectively invalidated. Technically speaking, we do need a break below the point of the breakout at around 68.7K, give or take, in order to technically invalidate the breakout. But obviously, if you've been watching my videos over the last few days, I said this is the area to enter a long position if you're taking this breakout trade right here. And personally, in this situation, I'll be moving my stop loss at least to my entry, ideally into profits, so that in the worst case scenario, you secure profits if your stop loss is in profits. And so this is exactly why I talk about moving my stop loss into profits. And obviously, if you did that with this trade, that trade should be closed by now in profits if your stop loss was in profits above this entry. And so this is why I always talk about how we cannot forget about these other areas of resistance that are sometimes sitting between the current price and the price target that the price can still struggle at and potentially fail to hit the price target because we still have strong resistance in this area. And with that being said, taking a look at Ethereum on the daily time frame, and Ethereum is basically just following what Bitcoin is doing at the moment. So technically speaking, we have not invalidated this previous bullish breakout for the bullish falling wedge, which technically means we still have a price target in play at around 40.70. But like I've already been saying over the last few days, the price of ETH is basically lacking momentum in the short term. We're pretty much just playing out some choppy sideways price action. So I'll not necessarily be overly bullish in the immediate short term because we're lacking momentum. And if we're taking a look at this 8-hour time frame, just recently the price of ETH has broken back below this Fibonacci level, which was sitting at around 38.20, and we have broken back below these previous lows, which was a short-term bearish signal. And like I mentioned recently, we have major support in this area sitting in between around 3.6K to 36.50, and at least for now, that is still currently holding as support. And so as of right now, that is still the important area of support to pay attention to, at least in the short term, which was previous support and previous resistance, once again in between 3.6k to 3650. But what if the price actually confirms a break below 3.6k? Well, in that case, if we start seeing candle closes, ideally on the daily time frame, below 3.6k, then in that case, we could likely return down towards around 3,450. And in a more bearish scenario, we should have major support at around 3.3k. But once again, as of right now, we have not yet confirmed a break below 3.6k, so this is still the area of support to pay attention to. And as for short-term resistance, we're most likely going to find some resistance around this area if we see a further bounce back to the upside at around 38.20, give or take, and more resistance closer towards around 39.50, and more resistance just underneath 4.1k. But once again, at least in the short term, Ethereum is kind of lacking momentum. And one of the reasons as to why Ethereum has been lacking momentum over the last few days, over the last week or so, is due to ETH BTC rejecting against Bitcoin. Basically, Ethereum rejecting against Bitcoin. And I've explained this in more detail in my last couple of videos here on the channel. So if you missed my last video, definitely check that one out. But basically, Ethereum, at least as of right now, is underperforming against Bitcoin. And if we're taking a quick look at the price of Solana on the 8-hour time frame, obviously over the last one day, Solana simply followed along with what Bitcoin and Ethereum was doing with that short-term dump just recently. And at least as of right now, we do have a bit of support in this area at around 160, which so far we're holding slightly above, at least as of recording this video. But if we start seeing a confirmed break below 160, so if we start seeing candle closes below 160, then in that case, we could likely see a move down towards this next area of support in between around 140 to 144. And as for short-term resistance, we still have resistance in this area in between around 167 to 172, and a little bit more resistance at around 174 based on these candle wicks right here and this local high, and more resistance in between 183 to 187. And ultimately, similar to Ethereum at the moment, Solana is still basically chopping around sideways, so we don't really have a lot of momentum, and at the moment, a lot of the large alts like Solana and Ethereum are kind of just following what Bitcoin is doing. And so basically, if we're looking bearish for Bitcoin in the short term, about to dump, then most likely that's going to apply to Ethereum, Solana, and a lot of other top altcoins. And vice versa, if Bitcoin is looking like it's about to pump or playing out a pump, then it's most likely going to also happen for Ethereum and Solana, but maybe to a different extent, especially if Ethereum is rejecting against Bitcoin. And once again, if you want to trade these moves in the price of any crypto, check out those links down below this video to claim those extra bonuses. And if you want to actually know how to profit from crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.